Hey everyone, I'm Angela Fazio.
And I'm Kristen Cantrell, and this is Moms in Real Estate. And today our guest is Michelle Mojica.
We are so blessed. This is the second time she's been on Moms in Real Estate. She was on back in 2018, and today she's going to dive into the topic of her passion for travel and how she believes it helps everything about her life, her business, her relationships, everything.
Can't wait.
Yeah, let's get started. If I can find the button.
Angela Fazio is an industry powerhouse who has overseen 40,000 homes sold and $9 billion in production. And Kristen Cantrell is one of the nation's most accomplished team leaders, helping thousands of agents build their businesses. They are passionate about educating, encouraging, and empowering moms in real estate. Our next episode starts now.
Hey, Michelle, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks, guys. Thank you for having me.
Your background looks so great today.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Oh, I love
it. That is what Arizona looks like right now.
Yep.
Yes.
Hey, everyone who's in the freezing cold.
I know.
Consider moving because it's paradise here.
I don't think we can take anybody else.
So get us started. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Michelle.
Well, thank you so much, first of all, for having me as a guest. And so my name is Michelle Mojica. I'm the designated broker and owner of Mojica & Associates Real Estate. On average, I serve about 53 agents. I like to keep it short and sweet. I live a very enjoyable, simple life. Definitely looking to make an impact, just like you guys in Moms in Real Estate. You know, how mothers and even fathers that really just want to provide for their kids, but also still want to be able to have some quality time, you know, family time. That's what we're going to talk about today.
Yes, I know. I'm fascinated. I think that we've had so many conversations about your passion for travel and your extreme talent in the way that you conduct your travel. And every time I'm fascinated, I get done with a conversation with you and I'm like, man, I need to consult her before I travel.
I know. I actually told like 3 people after we talked the other day, I'm like, I need to be calling Michelle when I'm booking my trips because I'll save thousands of dollars.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your philosophy on travel, the way you go about travel, the effects it has on your everything.
Okay, so it will make sense. We kind of have to go back to where it's all started, right? God will get you through. I believe He puts us at the right place at the right time. I should probably get some water. Sometimes, you know, we go through these pains. I was in timeshares. That was my first full-time job. Actually, after high school, I started when I was 16. It was like an after school, 4:30 to 9. At the age of 16,
so you're like a trained pit bull.
Yeah, trained pit bull.
Yes, I mean, it was like nothing. But I mean, I was doing telemarketing, and you get paid, you know, to talk at the age of 16, and I started making like $35,000, you know, a year.
Jeez.
And at 16, no responsibilities, no bills except for, you know, your car. I mean, it was amazing, and it just kind of, you know, I climbed the ladder from there. My last position was a director of marketing. So I've always been on the marketing side, not the sales side of timeshares, but I mean, we interacted with all the salespeople. It's for us, we were in the front line, right? I was in charge of the telemarketers after a while, and then I was in charge of the people at the mall or at the events where they say, enter to win 3 days and 2 nights, right? And then, but every time we would get families or couples, I would say, you guys are a scam. We hate it because we can't ever travel. Well, fast forward, I left the industry when I was about in my early 30s. Because it wasn't fulfilling anymore. Everything was about, you know, transactional. Everyone was a percentage, you know, just like in real estate. Every Monday, sales, you know, everything was about percentages, sales. It was just, I just felt really, really empty. So I was looking more for fulfillment. And I've always wanted to travel. I mean, our kids have been traveling ever since they were little babies. I mean, as early as like 6 months old. So they're great travelers. We have 4 kids, and, you know, especially those that have moms, I feel like we got into this industry to have more freedom and to have that flexibility. And for me, it was to travel with my kids. I hate asking for permission. So I was like, we're going to do this. We're never going to have to ask for permission ever again. And so our kids now are 23, 22, 14, and 13. The adults, still every year we ask them where they want to go. So this year we have plans on going to Peru, depending on, you know, how the pandemic goes. But I mean, it's brought our family so much closer together. And now I own, you guys, I own like 29 timeshares. It's a really like a bad addiction, but but I so just to let you guys know, we stay at beautiful Marriott resorts for like $500 for the week, like 2-bedroom, oceanfront. This summer we spent, gosh, I think 9 weeks in Hawaii. 5 or 6 weeks was in Oahu and 3 was in Maui. And on
That's
average,
crazy.
the rooms were like $500 a week. And if you looked it up, because I know I have people that are just like, there is no way. How much do you spend on traveling, right? And I'm like, because they look it up, but you know, you have stalkers, and they're just like, no, those rooms are like $7,000-8,000 a week, and we would have spent $72,000 on average, like including resort fees, parking fees. But with the timeshares, I pay. Our maintenance fee is $287 a year. So you buy them at resale, like you can get them pretty much for free from other people that don't know how to use it. But what I've noticed is, since I'm a competing broker, I'm like, it's like that term, I don't really like it. I still produce. I've noticed that my highest month personal productions always when we're not here, because it's that motivation, right? And then plus, sorry, there's something I probably need to get some water. But there's that feeling of, I want more of this, you know? I mean, you guys know, and you're in Europe and you're traveling and you're just like, this life is just so amazing. And then you have that energy that just overflows, and then more clients call you. Don't you ever notice that everybody wants to call you to buy or sell every time you're out of the country or on vacation?
Well, you know, when Chuck and I first went to Europe in 2000, I think it was 2011 or 12, it changed our entire life. The only difference though, I mean, I have the same kind of passion as you. I just don't want to bring my kids. I don't want to bring my kids.
I totally get it. Because our first, after we had left, you know, we were still in timeshares when Juan and I got married. So we've been married for 16 years. So for our 5th year anniversary, we wanted my vision. Like, I've always wanted to go to Venice, right? And you guys seen what happened with Venice like a couple of years ago. I don't know if it's still flooding, but sometimes, and just like now, we might not have that opportunity, you know, to go back to those places. And, you know, it sucks talking about, oh, I wanted to go, or coulda went, and shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Wait a minute though, Michelle, I know you love Jesus, and you have to think, this is what I tell God all the time. I'm like, Lord, I know that I don't have time in my lifetime to do this, this, and this. Will you save that for me when I get to heaven so I can experience it then?
Yeah.
So you're not missing a thing, girl. Nothing.
Yeah, but I guess to me, it's like, I just do it now, right? And I mean, God, I swear, He like provides everything in abundance. Everything. Like this year, I was telling you guys the other day, I mean, I wrote it down on my goals. I'm like, okay, God, I know it'd be safe. Because I mean, we've been traveling. I mean, a lot of people might feel that it's irresponsible to not stay home, but I mean, there's different opinions about it, and I you know, I respect their opinion, but I think for me, it's just, I mean, you can die driving around the corner, you know.
That's right. You have no judgment here. Nope.
Yes, life is too short. So and this year I'm like, okay, just to be safer, can we please fly first class and like the lay down seats? That would be amazing. But back then, before, I was like, okay, that's too expensive, because we do travel on a budget, especially times 6, you know, I mean, times 4 now because of adults. But when our adult kids do travel with us, it is really, really, really expensive. But yeah, this year we've been able to travel first class, lay down seats, and just like, in presidential suites, we've been able to stay, because then I was just like, you know, it's incredible what you ask God for, and a lot of times He's just like, what took you so long, you know? I
took that to heart when you said that the other day, Michelle. In fact, I've changed some of the things in the way that I'm praying based on what you said. Like, why aren't you asking for something that seems impossible or seems unreasonable or seems, you know, I'm good with that in my business life. And sometimes in my personal life, I'm not so good with that. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean, it's so true, right? And that's why I love sharing my testimonies. Because it is like, it's our jobs to show others what's really possible through Christ, right? And everything that I have, all the experiences, it's asking. I mean, I ask all the way down to a parking lot. You know, I don't like walking very far. And, you know, the parking spot,
That's awesome.
but it's, and also for, especially for us as moms, you know, how many times have we told our kids, oh, tomorrow, next year, and there's never that perfect moment. And I truly, that's one thing I really take to heart is when we have our kids pick a destination every year, and I said, we're going. Okay. And and the reason why we bring them, because the very first time Juan and I went to Europe, it was our 5th year anniversary. We went to Venice, and I'm more of like, let's just book it. And it's crazy talking about perfect timing, because I left the timeshare industry when the market was crashing, like June 2008, I believe. I don't remember. But Juan stayed behind. He's more of a structure guy. He loves like going to work every day. And I remember I was planning our 5th year anniversary, and he calls me. He needed like 3 more days off, because I'm like, you can't go to Europe 11 days. Oh, I mean, you know, we've done it, but I go, I would love to go for at least 2 weeks. I go, so ask for like 3 more days off. And then he calls me. He's like, I don't have to ask for any days off because I got laid off, and then we're not going because I just got laid off, right?
No more remission.
Yes, I remember that. I remember the feeling that I had. I was like, instead of being fearful, because neither one of us had a job at that point, but that's when I got into real estate. But then real estate was like $30,000, $40,000 transactions. I was like, this is awesome. I was like, we can go longer. That was really my, you know, fear could have stuck up and said, oh my God, we don't have insurance. We had, I mean, our kids were babies at that time. I mean, one was like an infant, like 6 months old, and the other one was like a year and a half, almost 2. And we went for 3 weeks. And I remember the first 2 days, we missed them so much that I wanted to come back home. But the airfare was like $2,000. So we were like, okay, let's stick it out. But you know what? It's so important to, one, to keep that family foundations, like, you know, how many husbands and wives are going through divorces. And it's so important to show your kids to take time for each other and to show them as an example, this is how you love your wife. This is how you love your husband. And, you know, and I love showing the kids like how beautiful Europe is. I feel like we've lost that here. Like, I mean, don't you guys feel like when you're in Rome or Italy, they just love Jesus there? And, you know, in Barcelona, look at this guy, right? That you guys have been to Barcelona where they have that big church that was like been under construction. I mean, this guy like lived his life just, you know, everywhere he had, it was just, okay, glorifying God. And we don't really see that here. So to show that to our kids and the history of, you know, all like we went to the Vatican.
Uh-oh, you're muted. There we are. There you go.
There you are.
I was getting a call, sorry. But yeah, I mean, I feel that I want my kids to, you know, growing up, I was like I had such a, not boring, it was a great life. I was born in Philippines. We moved here when I was 12. My parents were working parents. I wanted more adventure. I was a really bad teenager at the age of like 16. I was like, wanted to just venture off. I was a straight A student though, so I felt like I was entitled to do whatever I wanted. You know? Yeah.
Shoot, you're making $30,000 a year.
Yeah, so it's
so Michelle, the couple of other things, you know, I think what I'm learning from what you're talking about now is, for you, your passion for travel gives you the sense of adventure and the sense of wonder, and you feel like that you go after it, and you feel like that helps you in your business and your family. And I think that the theme of it is too many people don't go after anything. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be travel, but that passion that ignites you on a constant basis through travel, through loving your family is like makes you a delightful person. Now, you're probably a delightful person before that too, but even more delightful, your energy and your passion and your enthusiasm and your attitude and your love for Jesus. You know, I just think that we as moms and as women need to find something that lights us up like that, and then go after it with all our heart, like you go after travel.
Exactly. I mean, And whatever it is that you're passionate, I love finding deals, right? You can apply that to everything else. So when everybody else was leaving in 2008, 2009, as realtors, like going from like $200,000 deals, 300 down to like 30,000, I feel like so many people don't see the opportunity in everything. For example, the stock market, I was like, this is when the pandemic happened. That was when like, okay, you guys, how you react to this pandemic is how your business is going to be in 2020.
That's right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there were those obviously that were highly affected by it. I mean, you can't take away that people have died and people have lost loved ones. But as far as real estate, I mean, it is the best time to buy and it is the best time to sell. I mean, depending on who you're talking to, it's the best time for both, with interest rates and, sellers right now. I had an agent that wrote a contract $50,000 above list, waiving appraisal. So, I mean, if you're talking to a seller, right, it's like, this is the best, like, I don't know any other time. And if you're buying, like, we tried to look it up to see when the last time we had 2.25 interest rate. Like, I think it's over 30 years. Or was it? I don't even know, like 1914 or 1904.
It's like free money. It's free money, basically.
I know, it's so crazy.
Well, you know what, Michelle? I think because there are going to be a lot of people who listen to this podcast and they're going to be so mad that you didn't give any tips. So what we're going to do is Kristen and I want to invite you back to our spinoff of Moms in Real Estate called Girl Educate Yourself.
Ooh,
and we want to do a session where you just spend and you're going to have to be succinct because it has to be under 15 minutes. Like, think about this. Will you come back and give us a 14-minute, tips and tricks from Michelle on affordable travel and how to get there?
Yes, I need this class so bad.
Yes, I mean, that's it's amazing every time, when I talk about that. And I will teach you guys how to stay. We were just at the Marriott Newport Coast Villas. We stayed there for, again, $500 for the week. And you guys know, for those who have stayed there, but also it is pursuing those dreams. Like, stop telling yourself why you can't have something. Just be like, all right, God, please give. It's asking him boldly for all these things. Like, he knows what's in your heart, and it's us that's stopping us from it. And I'll go over how you can go to Turks and Caicos first class for like $200.
You guys, you cannot miss it. So again, we're going to have her back, and maybe we'll do two parts. And then we'll just air them back-to-back weeks or something like that. So think about that. Think about your very best tips and how to tell people to execute it. And then we are going to schedule that. But I want to thank you, and Kristen wants to thank you because we love your energy. We love your spirit, and we're so blessed to have you on our show today.
Yes, it's so good having you back.
Thank you. It's always good to see you.
So tell us about next week's guest really quick.
Oh my gosh.
Marissa?
Yes, Marissa. She's fantastic, you guys. She started in October, and between October and December, she sold 2 homes. And then from December, that whole first year, she sold 26 homes. She's 24.
I think she's 23, isn't she?
23 or 24, but
super young.
To do that in your first year, it's pretty much unheard of. You don't, even if you sell 12 to 15 homes, that's a success your first year. So
we're so excited. Yeah, I know. She's from this little town in Wisconsin. We can't wait to talk with her.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Oh, is it Wisconsin or Minnesota?
She's in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. All right, Michelle, stay on. Don't pop off yet. But you guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your comments. And God bless you all.